All right, everyone, we're recording here with Greg Mallia from Regency Law Group. Greg is our referral partner for the legal side, I think, with real estate. We've been working together for nearly 2 years now. So I'll let him give you a little introduction about who he is and what he does, and then we will dive into the questions.
Great, thanks, Greg. Yeah, so Greg Mallia here from Regency Law Group, a full-service law firm in downtown Hamilton. I am a partner for the firm's real estate department. Love working with Denus and his team. Great partner to be going through this crisis with. But we're here to turn that crisis into a positive situation. So without having anything construed as legal advice, I'm happy to be here and happy to chat.
Okay, yeah, so just as a disclaimer for everybody watching this video, nothing that we're saying can be construed as legal advice, but if you want to reach out to Greg directly, you're more than welcome to do that. We'll put his contact information in the post below. So we're just going to dive into a couple quick questions. I know Greg is slammed, working really hard today. So the first thing that's happened in the last 24 hours is real estate has been deemed an essential service, and professionals like Greg. So my understanding is essentially that means that we are able to operate and close transactions as per usual. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're obviously at the mercy of banks and other essential services that we require in order to close deals. So appraisers, mortgage companies, and then ancillary services such as couriers and the like. But as of right now, we are all systems go. We are eager to close deals, and we are fielding calls left, right, and center from a lot of our partners wondering what is happening. We are all systems go. We are closing transactions, and we are making sure that everything is done in compliance with the directives of both the Law Society, our title insurance partners, and of course the government and the Ministry of Health.
Okay. And speaking of the Law Society, are electronic signatures now a possibility for meetings, or are people still needing to come in person for signing meetings?
So there is some directive from the Law Society with respect to the Commissioners Act. The Law Society understands that in-person meetings during the COVID-19 era are a hazard to everybody's health, and for the time being are allowing commissioning to be done virtually. The issue is that the Law Society doesn't enforce the Commissioners Act. That is a court of law that would be interpreting and enforcing regulations under that legislation. So where we are at now is it's up to the lawyers to determine what best practices can be put in place in order to give effect to the documents, but also to comply with the regulations that are set out. So what we're doing at Regency Law Group is we're taking things a bit of a step further. I am doing Zoom conferences with all of our clients. We're sending document packages back and forth through email to be printed and signed over video conference. And then we're also doing a Regency Law Group Virtue Sign, which is an electronic system that allows documents to be signed electronically. And then we're having the documents delivered back and forth to our clients' homes and to our law firm to minimize any face-to-face interaction. So that's where we're at the moment. And it's been working.
That's fantastic. That sounds like a really good solution. Print, sign over video conference. That's makes a lot of sense for sure. Yeah. Okay. And now I'm sure that over the next 2 weeks, what's on everybody's mind is, we just had this declaration of essential services. So we have closings for the next 2 weeks. Looking to the future, one thing that is starting to come up on our end of things is there are a lot of so-called COVID clauses being baked into deals. And negotiations back and forth. I'm just wondering if you've had any insight or directives about how to handle possible new COVID-19 clauses. And my own personal opinion is that we should proceed with extreme caution, but I'd love to hear your take on that.
Sure. So, I mean, the agreements of purchase and sale don't have anything, and when I say that, I mean the ORIA Form 100s. They don't have anything currently with respect to COVID-19 and what would address a situation like this. We've created a force majeure clause and cobbled one together to roll out to our referral partners to maybe consider including in the agreements of purchase and sale. And what those clauses do is it basically says that it's incumbent on both buyer and seller to complete the transaction. If the transaction is unable to be completed on its scheduled date by way of, and then we insert COVID-19 or any type of respiratory virus that might lead to illness. And we try to encapsulate anything that might be considered a disruption as a result of COVID-19. If you put those in your clauses, rather, if you put that clause in your agreement, it does, it does give some effect to both parties, pushes them to negotiate in good faith, pushes them to act in good faith. We recommend doing so. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed. It's always going to be left up to the court to determine what should happen in the event that a case does proceed to litigation. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, inserting a force majeure clause into your transactions at the moment might be prudent. Having said that, deals are closing and transactions are being completed. And for the most part, law offices, realtors, mortgage agents, insurance agents, appraisers, we're all acting in concert together. We're all trying to cooperate. Everyone understands that this disease is escaping no one. And so by working together, you can really minimize the disruption that it causes.
I completely agree. I've noticed in the last couple of weeks too that everyone's been working hard. We've been a little more flexible with our timelines, just giving everybody enough time to get things done safely to make sure that everybody, is able to move into the house so they don't end up, sitting in a moving van with a family full of furniture. And making sure that there's a minimal hardship as possible.
Yeah, and it is working. I mean, we are in the infancy stages. Everything is sort of being rolled out by the government on a day-to-day basis. They're doing in my opinion, a pretty decent job of giving information in stages so that this organized chaos can continue. For purposes of realtors and brokers who are looking to make sure that their deals don't go off the rails, you're welcome to give us a call and discuss your situation. I think including a force majeure clause that specifically does mention COVID-19 is an extra barrier or an extra layer of protection. But at the end of the day, what I will say is this: if someone is going to use this crisis to their advantage and to another party's detriment, and this does go into litigation, the courts will be slammed when we reopen, and judges will not take kindly to behavior geared towards taking advantage of your neighbor. And that is just, I think, a leverage piece to be using in negotiations if you find yourself with someone who is not willing to cooperate.
Yeah, fortunately, we haven't seen anything like that yet. Unfortunately, I'm sure that we will, but hopefully this goodwill that's going around communally right now will continue.
That's my hope as well.
Okay. Well, listen, I just want to say thanks again for taking the time out of your day for all of this. That was all fantastic advice. So this is Greg Mallia, once again, the partner at Regency Law Group, Greg Denus, and we're going to be posting content like this with our partners on a regular basis. So do stay tuned to this Instagram channel for more information. Thanks again to Greg. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Greg. It was a pleasure. Everyone stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you so much.